Greetings and welcome to Political Empire. I'm your host, Kim Pearsall with the Press Enterprise and PE.com. And in the race for the November election, we are focused today on state races. And in particular, we're going to talk about a political attack ad that has been framed against one candidate. And then we're going to talk about the 61st Assembly race between Jose Medina and Bill Batey and what's going on there. So for all of these issues, we're going to be speaking with Jim Miller, our Sacramento correspondent. Jim, how's it going today?
Doing all right, Kim. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
You are keeping busy. Obviously, Ben Goat, our Washington correspondent, is keeping very busy with all of the election news and things to keep track of. First, let's talk about this attack ad that was centered on Richard Roth's campaign. So what's going on here? First, what was the content of the ad, and then who put it out?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this was. The 31st Senate District has had its share of attack ads and mailers and past several months. This is one that began airing in the last several days. The exact date is unclear, but this was an ad that against Mr. Roth that claimed his election would lead to a tax increase, and that he is the preferred candidate of the Liberal Party bosses in Sacramento.
And of course, it's election season, so there's lots of political attack ads every day, every minute. What separated this one from other political ads? Why were you interested in this one in particular?
Well, this one, and Roth is a Democrat, a Republican candidate is, of course, Jeff Miller, the Corona Assemblyman. But this ad was not from the Miller campaign. It was from an independent expenditure committee called the Inland Empire Taxpayers Association. These independent expenditures, they cannot be coordinated with a candidate, but they are expected to play quite a prominent role in the campaign for the 31st, and this is probably just going to be the start, this ad from the Taxpayers Association. In the last few days, a supporter of Mr. Roth has filed a complaint with the state alleging that the committee failed to properly disclose its sources of funding from business and other groups, and then also claimed it had not filed the required paperwork by the state deadline.
And so this independent expenditure group, like all independent expenditure groups, don't have any connections to either candidate. So in this case, Roth's challenger had no connection whatsoever to this group, correct?
Right. I mean, I think I think everyone would say of independent expenditures that the people who pay for independent expenditures want a particular candidate to win, and I think the people. But other than that, I mean, there cannot be direct coordination, direct communication between a candidate's campaign and a committee that's set up by, to be an independent expenditure committee. And
do we have any idea who makes up the Inland Empire Taxpayers Association?
Well, it's not an Elks Lodge or a Kiwanis Club or anything type association when you hear that kind of expression. I mean, like many IE committees, this is a vehicle during campaign season. And there's a couple people who are on the committee, but by and large, it doesn't have a membership or anything like that. And the funding from the funding for the committee has come from the statewide real estate association, Charles Munger Jr., who's a Republican activist, and several other large business groups.
And it sounds like even though there's about a month left with the election, we still should probably expect to see more of these independent expenditure groups putting out some of these ads. So no slowing down.
Oh, massive.
Preceding November.
Massive amounts. Yeah, it could very well turn out to be more money than the candidates spend themselves.
Oh, geez. Well, moving on to another race in the Inland Empire, the 61st Assembly race between Bill Beatty and Jose Medina. Tell us a little bit about this. First, what geographic area does the district cover, and what are the issues at hand between these two candidates right now?
Yeah, well, this one's interesting. I mean, it's been, from before my time, but it's been more than 20 years since Western Riverside County had, or since Republicans and Democrats had something to fight over in Western Riverside County as far as the Assembly is concerned. And now we have the 61st Assembly District. This is the product of last year's redistricting, and it is generally the eastern half of the city of Riverside, and then Moreno Valley and Paris. It's sort of an oval-shaped district right there, smack in the middle of the county.
And Bill Beatty is currently the Moreno Valley City Councilman. Tell us a little bit about both candidates. So, who is Bill Beatty? Who's Jose Medina? And what should voters know?
Right. Well, Bill Beatty, right, is a member of the Moreno Valley City Council. He's also his day job is he's a firefighter for the city of Riverside. Jose Medina is a teacher in Riverside and is a former member of the Riverside Community College District. Both have run unsuccessfully for the Assembly in the past, but both think they have found the perfect place to run in the 61st Assembly District.
And how did both of them? How did both of them fare in the primary? So was one leading the other?
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, in the primary, Medina was the only Democrat on the ballot. There were two Republicans, though, Batey and another gentleman named Joe Ludwig. The combined Batey-Ludwig vote was higher overall than Mr. Medina's vote, but Mr. Medina won in more precincts, and so what that is signifies is that Democratic turnout was quite low in June. Democrats say that turnout is going to be far better in November. They point to the district's history of supporting Democrats, such as Barack Obama and Jerry Brown, and they also say the Medina is just well known. But Republicans, are also confident. The Republican registration has picked up since earlier this year, and they also predict that Beatty, just because he's well known and a local elected official, will have crossover appeal with the Democrats and independent voters.
Well, Jim, thanks so much for the update on both the 61st Assembly race and the ongoing situation with independent expenditure groups and their role with the candidates and the campaigns. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll get an update from you on all the other races. And thank you for watching another edition of Political Empire, and we'll see you again soon.